Hi guys, so I'm not actually in the studio at the moment and I'm just giving you a commentary over um, the track I made. So this is the three elements challenge again. So I'm making a dub techno track using just three elements, but this time no chord progression, just a single chord getting played. And so I immediately thought, hey, like a polyrhythm would work really well because generally like polyrhythms really help to drive your track along, especially if you have kind of like a minimal track where there's very few elements playing. So I made a minor seventh chord and I wanted to make like kind of a morphing kind of pad dub chord kind of sound. So I wanted to create a whole lot of movement. So I was setting LFO1 to the wavetable position in oscillator 1, and I turned the retrigger off and made it quite a slow, subtle LFO. And gave it a bunch of unison. And shaped the amp envelope so it's more of a kind of a pad sound. So I gave it some attack and release, and turned the sustain down a bit. And in the filter there, I just gave it some drive and kind of left it at that, I think. So over in the modulation matrix, I set LFO2 to the amp, so kind of like get a bit of movement on the volume of the sound. When you're making kind of like minimal techno tracks where there's like one chord just being repeated, it's a good idea to just add as much movement to the sound as possible, like just modulate everything, and that's how you create those kinds of tracks where it's still super interesting to listen to, but there's not a lot going on and it's kind of like really zen. I personally love listening to that kind of music. So it's just a matter of just adding movement at every opportunity and just being creative with the mix process. So yeah, I mapped envelope 2 to the filter cutoff as well. So yeah, what I wanted to do was add more movement to the filter cutoff here. First I put a delay on there, the echo device. And I think, yeah, I gave it a bunch of reverb in there. yeah, back to the filter cutoff. I went into the MIDI clip, the envelope editor and the MIDI clip, and I unlinked that. And yeah, so if you highlight a section and right click, you can drop these shapes in there. And I guess I just wanted to experiment with them shapes and come up with some interesting movement for the filter. So yeah, this track will be available, this Ableton live set will be available on my Patreon, and there's a link in the comments. Also, if you feel like supporting the channel, you can buy me a coffee, and there's also a link in the comments there for that. And I appreciate all you guys who have been donating. So now it's time for the kick drum. I just went into Ableton's sample library, what it comes with, and just selected a kick drum from there and put in a 4 to the floor pattern. And I then went in and sidechained the chord to the kick drum. Put some auto pan on there. I guess I just wanted to alright, so yeah, I put an EQ on there, and I've gone into the clip editor, and I'm gonna modulate the frequency on the band I've selected in the EQ, and it's unlinked, and I've selected a shape. Yeah, that worked kind of nicely. Oh, so yeah, I put some saturation on there. So yeah, if you're using Ableton Saturator, the sinoid fold setting, basically that's your tape. It's modeled on tape, I think. So if you want like kind of tape saturation, use the sinoid fold setting, and then yeah, I really like this saturator. Recently I've been using it quite a bit, and I found if you use the envelope sections, you can come up with some really good results. So I actually went into the clip editor again, and I'm automating a parameter, the frequency parameter in the saturator. Just a really subtle bit of saturation, but it just adds a little bit more movement to the sound. Okay, so I don't know what I was doing with this LFO. Okay, I mapped it to oscillator 1 position, so we got even more. We got 2 LFOs running on the wavetable position. I kind of like that. That's cool. So you got yeah, that's cool, man. That's a really cool idea. So yeah, I think I wanted to modulate also the attack portion of the amp envelope. Oh, okay, yeah, using that LFO, I'm modulating 2 parameters, the wavetable position and the attack of the amp envelope. So we're just adding a whole bunch of movement at every opportunity. So now it was time to add the third element, and I wanted to use a hi-hat, and using operator with the looped noise oscillator. And in the MIDI clip there, I just drew in like just a single 16th note. And just shaping the sound using the release of the amp envelope. So we got a bandpass filter. Some reverb on there. So yeah, I copied the delay over from the dub chord onto the hi-hat track here. And in the mod matrix in operator, I set the velocity to modulate the volume and the filter frequency. And back in the MIDI clip here, I drew in a bunch more notes. But at a reduced velocity, so they kind of sound a little bit like snares, I guess. So I guess I kind of wanted to keep it fairly simple and just have that one high frequency note on the 16th note there, just to add like a kind of a groove, I guess, like add interest to the groove. So yeah, because it's on it's the looped white noise, it's actually like a sample. So if you pitch the notes around, it actually makes quite a big difference to the sound, as opposed to just using white noise oscillator where changing the pitch wouldn't make a difference. So yeah, I set the LFO to the filter and turned off retrigger. So we got a bit of movement going on with the filter there, just adds a bit more modulation to the sound. So destination B I also set to the time parameter, so we get modulation on the amp envelope timing. So yeah, this live set will be available to download via my Patreon, and there's a link in the comments. And really enjoying doing these techno constraint series. So yeah, plenty more to come, and I'll see you next time. Peace.